Good morning, everyone, on this first Friday in June. It's really nice to see everybody. I'm Lori Gilberton, for those of you who I haven't met yet, the Executive Director of LEJ, and we're really pleased to be presenting this series in collaboration with our friends and colleagues at LawBank to bring a little mindfulness and well-being into everybody's Friday and then hopefully into your life continuing on. Over the next few months, Mick is our guide as he helps us create a meaningful mindfulness practice that can help reduce stress, increase our calm and focus, and lead to clearer thinking that can serve us all well in all aspects of our professional and personal lives. Whether you're new to mindfulness and meditation, or whether you're an experienced practitioner, we know you're going to find these sessions really valuable and are really thrilled that you've decided to join us. Those of you who were here last month know what the effect of mindfulness can be, even just for a few minutes a day. Mick has been practicing that since 1995. And he came to meditation by chance at the age of 22 as he sought to make sense of his inner world and the world around him. Over the years, his engagement with that grew from a solitary practice to all sorts of engagement with mindfulness groups as both a member and a teacher. He has spent time traveling all over the globe, experiencing mindfulness and meditation, learning from the experts. You don't have to do that because he's bringing that all to you, although that would be kind of fun. So he's been formally teaching mindfulness to people of all ages and walks of life for the past 10 years. He's a mentor, he's a teacher, he's a trainer, and he's also a licensed psychotherapist in private practice who serves college and law students at American University in Washington, D.C., where he uses those mindfulness teachings to really help them work through some difficult times. He also works with law students, so he's well acquainted with how stressful the law can be. Mick was also fortunate enough to grow up in a family of lawyers, so he's intimately acquainted with what the law can do in daily life to those who practice, and he's really well equipped to help all of us and help us infuse some calm, some peace, and some stillness into our busy lives. So Mick, I thank you for being here. We're all really excited about this session, and I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Laurie, and everyone for being here. Good to see you all. And I think we have a few people here for the first time. So give you all a lot of credit for coming to check this out, whether it's your first foray into a mindfulness group or not. It makes me think that in 1996, when I was in college and signed up for like a kind of a meditation class on mindfulness, one component of it was going to like a meditation group once a week for an hour. And I'd read all these books and like meditated on my own, but I remember being afraid to go to attend the group because I thought they'd tell me like I was doing it wrong, or it would be too hard to sit still in a group. So I never went. I think I filed for like an incomplete for that part of the course, but something stuck. So here I am, and here you are. So good to see you all. Are some of you here for the first time? Yeah, Gunther and maybe Mark, and I think Amy was here last time, right? Yeah, great. So one of the things we talked about last time, which was our first session, was like just coming to a common working definition of mindfulness, because the word I think is being thrown around a lot out there. So the working definition that I use that I think is widely used, hopefully, that we can go by, is that mindfulness is it's a present moment awareness, attention to what's going on in the moment. And we often do that. We're aware that we're hungry, we're paying attention to the game we're watching, or whatever, or what we're looking at on our phone, whatever it might be. But what makes mindfulness a little bit different is that it also has this aspect of curiosity and of non-judgment and some kindness towards ourselves. So that's a key component of it. So mindfulness is a present moment awareness to things as they are, with an aspect of curiosity of what's going on outside of us and within us. Non-judgment, so noticing that self-critic and working towards less judgment, maybe all the way to non-judgment, and that along with that, some kindness. And the great thing about it is that, to have a group and guidance is amazing. And along with that, like, you have everything you need to practice mindfulness anywhere you are. You have your body, you have your breath. So those are the things, awareness of our body, awareness of our breath are things that help us to bring our attention back into the present moment. Yesterday, someone who's been in one of my groups for a couple of years was saying how she was walking in the park, walking her dog, and she just noticed she was ruminating so much. And after several minutes, she managed to just like pause and stop and kind of interrupt the ruminating to bring her attention to everything that was around her. And she walks her dogs in the park like every day. So she's like, I just began to notice these honeysuckle bushes and this, oak tree and the clouds. So that's, mindfulness in action, noticing rumination or noticing anxiety. And sometimes we need to attend to it, but other times it interrupts and it takes us away from living fully, and being fully present for, the miracle of life and being fully present for like everything that's around us. So that's part of it. And that's like what we're kind of getting into today. And I think is the underlying theme of all the sessions is how do we bring this present moment awareness to like attend fully to our lives, like both to our own wellness, to our, wherever we are, and also to like our loved ones, and also to our like passions and hobbies, to be like fully present for those things. And in terms of, let me pause there because there's more, but yeah. So when we're mindful, when we're able to find that, that sacred pause by bringing our attention from like the swirling mind back down to either our breathing, our heart, or our feet on the ground, or just the feeling of our breath. Mindfulness acts as a flood stopper. It stops the mind from running too much, helps us to reset, helps us to go from feeling constricted to expanding, which I think is a really key thing and something that people experience, I think, in a short time when they're able to bring the attention from, the busy mind, which is not necessarily bad, it serves its purpose, but sometimes it's too busy, back to the body, back to the breathing. So we'll do that together. I never like to talk for more than like 7 or 8 minutes about this before like getting into a practice, because we hear it's like, oh yeah, that's great, sounds good, or maybe like, oh, I'm not sure about that. So it's always good to kind of get into the practice and experience it. So we'll do a short mindfulness or meditation practice together. And the other really important thing to remember, maybe take this to remember if you don't get anything else from this, is that mindfulness, and specifically like mindfulness meditation, it's not about clearing our mind of thoughts. Many people come to it and think like, I can't clear my mind of thoughts, I'm too busy. It's not about clearing our mind of thoughts. It's really about coming into stillness, coming into stillness, slowing down, to give some space. So we notice how the mind goes. Yeah, that's what the mind does, especially when we stop. And then we give the mind something to do, which is pay attention to the breathing and pay attention to the body. So in our practice, when the mind wanders, no like self-flagellation on that. It's normal. You're doing it right. Okay, there's my planning. There's my worry. There's my hunger. Notice it. And here comes the aspect of kindness. Kindly bring your attention back to your breathing, your body in the chair. Get nice and settled for a couple minutes. Mind goes again. Gently bring it back again. All right, so we'll do it together here for about 7 or 8 minutes. You can practice just sitting up straight in a position that's upright but not too uptight. Important to have the spine straight. And if eyes closed is comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Or if you want to practice with eyes open, which many traditions of meditation do, you can just gaze at a spot a couple feet down and in front of you. And just bring us into the practice with 3 sounds of my bell here, just to give you kind of a shift. So just listen to the bell to start. Beginning by bringing your attention to the feeling of your body in the chair. Feeling those points of contact between your body and the chair, the upper back, lower back. Noticing sensation of the chair beneath you, the seat. The back of the upper legs. Letting your attention come all the way down to feel your feet firmly on the ground. Even wiggling your toes for a moment. From this solid, stable position, you can open your awareness a little bit to just feel the space around you. You can get constricted at our desks, at our computers. So feeling all of that space around you that can hold your thoughts, your tensions, your wandering mind. So sensing the space, even the light in the room, to the left of your body, the space behind you, to your right, in front of you, all the space above your head, coming all the way down again to feel your feet on the ground, solid and stable. And we want to give the mind a place to rest, to return to. So you can use our breathing. You can bring your attention to the belly button, and just feeling a couple inches below the belly button. And holding a gentle awareness on your abdomen. You don't need to put in any effort, just allowing the abdomen, the belly to be soft, to receive, feel each in-breath, and to relax and release on each out-breath. And usually we like to be breathing in and out through the nose. Another place you might notice the air coming into your body. So we just sit and enjoy and observe the breath. You can step back to notice what happens with the mind. Thoughts come, and thoughts come. That's the way it goes. When you notice that, you bring your attention back to your breathing, at the nose or at the belly. Or maybe you like to try bringing your attention, if there's a lot of movement in the mind, bringing your attention down to your feet on the ground, to press those feet on the ground, to feel that stability, that solidity. And staying with it for one more minute. So just taking a couple moments here to ease your way out of the meditation. If you need to stretch or twist it all, just take your time. And one key component of mindfulness and bringing mindfulness into your daily life is momentum. So this is a good momentum practice, just noticing how you're feeling at the end of the practice and just letting whatever sense of like stillness or settledness you gathered, however large or small, just noticing that in your body and mind and seeing if you can sort of flow with that into our sharing, into our discussion. so part of what we did, and also like what we were talking about, and I was talking about the person in my group, mindfulness is a lot about returning, about starting again. And that's what we did in that practice. It's like the mind wanders, it thinks about the plans for the day or something that happened this morning or whatever it might be. And then we just return back to our center. We return. Same thing that the person in my group was doing. She's off walking the dog, something that she enjoys. The mind is going in a million directions, returning to meet life wholeheartedly. That's really a lot of what it's about. It's like clearing this pathway back to present moment awareness, self-awareness, to meet whatever we're doing, to meet whoever we're with wholeheartedly. Whether it's doing the dishes or walking the dog or, like making that call that you're putting off that you don't want to make, like how can we meet that wholeheartedly? All right, well, I think I've done my fill of filled up my time of talking, so I want to open it up. Maybe we can do one go around, just around the circle if people want to. One, like say their name, where you're calling from, and then if you want to offer either one or two words of how you're feeling, or one thing that you noticed about your mind or body during the meditation. So name, where you're calling from, and then just a little short snippet of what you noticed or how you're feeling right now.
I'll start. I'm Jake Hamlet. I'm in Denver. I love these things. It's the only time each week that or each month that I've done it. I keep meaning to do it, and it's incumbent upon me to take that time. But I love it. I feel great. A lot of things were going on this morning. Made me think about just what was going on right now, and I'll have to get back to those other things, but for now I'm enjoying my calm.
Mark, calling from Denver as well, not the North Pole, and just complete and total calm, peace of mind. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Prima. I'm in Denver. I was feeling very frazzled at the beginning of this call because my kids were asking me things and my house cleaners showed up, but now I feel calm, and I really appreciate Lori and Mick, you doing this. And Miranda, I just absolutely love this work. So thank you. So I'm feeling grateful.
So I'm Miranda, and I'm calling from Castle Rock in Colorado. And I got to say, Mick, I've been trying to do this twice a day since last month. And I think it has had a tremendous change on the way that I feel inside, as running two businesses can get gnarly. So this definitely helps me. So I've learned a lot from you. So I'm feeling pretty thankful right now.
Thanks, Miranda. I'm Lori Gilbertson, calling from beautiful, sunny Denver. Word of the day is calm and peaceful and open. Just open and grateful. If you had told me a year ago that we would be leading a mindfulness session where I felt comfortable closing my eyes for 10 minutes in front of 8 other people and just being that vulnerable, I would have laughed and told you were nuts. It's a truly life-changing experience for me to have started this. I started about a year ago, and every day I feel it. Even whether I do practice or whether sometimes I don't, just even stopping for a moment and taking 3 breaths and bringing myself back, it's been absolutely life-changing.
I'm Gunther Getz in Denver, and for me, this has been just such a nice reprieve. I try to practice mindfulness, but it's always great to do it with other people as well. The last few weeks have been very stressful, so this has been very welcome to me.
I'm Crystal, and I am in Tucson, Arizona. And for me, this has helped me sort of knock those kind of thoughts that come into my head when it comes to my kids, or it's overwhelming, where I'm like, I'm not a good mom. I allow myself to kind of find peace and say, I am a good mom. My kids are just being a little crazy right now. Or, big presentations or times where I have to get up in front of a lot of people where I'm doubting myself and what I know. I sort of take the time to meditate on what I do know and kind of push those negative thoughts out of my head, because they always try to come back at the worst times. I'm in the grocery store, or I try to do yoga in the morning. So this has helped me really say, focus on the breathing, focus on the still, and focus on the good things, and don't allow those negative thoughts or those self-doubtful thoughts come into my head, because they don't belong here. So that has really helped me since the last session, really push those thoughts out of my head, because I feel like when it used to happen, it would get overwhelming, and then it would turn into this like anxiety attack of like, oh, and I don't let that happen anymore. So thankful.
Yeah, that's a great kind of segue, or just a key point, noticing across what everyone said, like noticing how you feel. I'm always happy, Amy, when someone says that they were like frazzled or that their mind was going, because we want to keep it real. We want to like totally acknowledge that when we do come into stillness and just in our busy lives, kids, work, everything else, it's like things get hectic and the mind is going to go and the body's going to be tense, and that's like, like that's life. And that the mindfulness practice doesn't like delete all those things. And like Crystal said, like we also notice like all these thoughts, and a lot of times it's that like self-critic, or the doubts that in some way maybe those thoughts like served us, but in some way it's like they keep coming up and we fed them in our lives. We all have. And what Crystal was saying and what everyone was saying is like, when we sit, we like create space to see those things more clearly and to choose what we want to put our attention on, which is such a great point, like such a key to mindfulness. It's like when we're present, when we are mindful, it's like we're choosing what to put our attention on. Do we want to feed those doubts where we can like make space for them? It's like, oh yeah, like, as we see it more and more, the more we practice, whether it's like doing a 7, 8, 10-minute meditation like we do, or whether we're like just pausing in the middle of the day, we notice those like recurring thoughts. And then we can choose, do I want to feed that? Do I want to continue to pay attention with that? And then over time, and often a short time, like go even deeper into it. It's like, oh, what is that about? What is that about, that thought of insert like your most frequent, self-critical thought here. So we're like clearing the space for those things to be seen. Yeah, and in daily life, like everyone, you mentioned grocery store. I think that's like one of my favorite kind of mindfulness practice centers, is like the grocery store line. It's like, am I in that much of a rush? Do I really need to beat myself up for choosing the slower line again? Can I just accept that as a fact of life, that I always feel like I chose the wrong line? Doesn't happen when you're with someone else, because you're like, okay, you go wait, you wait when you're with one of your kids. You wait right next to me in that other line and we'll see which one is faster. So it's a great mindfulness in daily life.
I thought of you, Mick, the other day in traffic, as I sat in traffic with the line of people, when you're there and you're trying to get through the green light, but the person in front of you is turning left, but they don't pull into the intersection. They just sit there. It's a Denver thing, I think. I don't know, but I thought about you, and then I thought the same thing. Am I in that much of a rush? What will happen if I miss this light? I'll be okay. And just took a couple breaths, and it helped.
I always think of, it's just like this right now. Like, calm down. It's just like this right now. And that is absolutely from your family that I got that. So thank you. Well, this is fun. Lori and Mick, if you're okay with it, we'll wrap up a little bit early today. And I just wanted to thank LawBank and also the LEJ. These mindfulness sessions happen once a month, the first Friday of every month, and this might change because of summer travel schedules. People are kind of coming in and out of these, but what won't change here is LawBank's commitment to wellness and the support of diverse and small law firm owners, the support of the health of the Colorado legal community. And, you know, these mindfulness sessions really only work if you commit to them. And so, you know, we're meeting up once a month, but we record them. If you prefer a guided practice, you know, you can always, you know, download this. I'm happy to circulate the last few sessions of recordings, but all of this really does help to decrease your level of stress. It increases your productivity. And, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm a broken record, but I do believe that you make time for your wellness or you make time for your sickness. And I think being intentionally here shows kind of which ride you're putting your quarter in on. So I want to thank everybody. Thanks again, Jay. Thanks again, Lori and Mick and Crystal, for setting this awesome training up. And we will let you know in advance if we end up changing the timing of this, but what won't change is how awesome this time is with Mick and how important it is for all of us just to chill out and calm down together. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and we will see you next month.
I think Amy has a question.
Amy,
Comment question with the hand up.
Yeah, I put my hand up. So I was wondering, Mick, if you have any recommended readings so I read The Alchemist with my daughter last weekend. We listened to it on tape, and it's so based in mindfulness. And I was thinking about you in this class. And I would like to read more, either fiction or non-books that really reinforce being present in mindfulness. Do you have a recommended list?
That's a great idea that I could come up with a short list of things. Yeah, cool. that I could send to you. And I think you can either get in touch with, I think either Laurie or Miranda, and then they can connect us, and you can let me, and we can
okay,
something out. Yeah. And on that note, I'll also maybe over the coming weeks, put a small resource list together that we can have for everyone. But yeah, we'll connect, and I'll send you something.
Cool.
And Amy, with your kids, one of the things that I started with when I started doing the mindfulness was some things Mick recommended. These little books, and I'll send them around. I'll send you the names. They're Thich Nhat Hanh, just very simple, you know, how to see, how to sit. And I looked at it and thought, that sounds insane. I know how to sit, but they are great little readings that you can do, and they might be really well suited to maybe doing with your daughter also, just little snippets of how to be present. All of his writings are amazing, so we'll put them on the resource list as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I just added a few. Amy, I really like Pima Chandran's as well. And then you know, what I have really forced my kids to do is to learn how to breathe deeply. And I teach them to do that by act like you're smelling a flower. And so that has really been the way that I've been able to just teach them how to self-soothe and kind of calm themselves down while they're in timeout or wherever they're at. But, you know, I think it's neat that you're bringing this to your kids too.
One thing that I've done with real younger kids, it was actually a kindergarten class. So I went in to teach the teacher how to book. And one of the things, and it taught all these different kinds of breathings. And one of the ones in the book was hot chocolate breathing. So it's doing this and blowing on it, you're blowing on something warm. So I don't know how old your kids are, but that was one that
that's neat.
The 5 and 6 year olds really liked.
Yeah, we were doing meditation before the pandemic, and then my yoga studio closed. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, one of the things, oh, go ahead, Miranda.
No.
One of the things Mick did recently that I found really interesting was he worked with a family who had teenage kids, and they did, I think it was once a week, Mick, of like a tailored kind of mindfulness practice. And, you know, I think you saw like some amazing effects from all that. I think you told the story of the mom last time walking her dog and really taking that as her time. So like, I love to see that families are doing that. I wish I could convince my kids too.
It's called forced fun, Lori, and and my kids can't get out of it. They're required to stretch. I'm gonna make this a habit one way or another.
Yeah.
It's
Amy,
hard to
how old?
Teenagers.
How old are they, Amy?
Oh, my kids are 15 and 16. Yeah, they're 15 and
15,
16.
16?
Yeah.
Oh, then all right, then I'm going to get some tips from you because mine are teenagers too. And that's around the age, right, Mick, that you were working with?
Yeah, I work with that age a lot. I'm actually doing an online retreat for teenagers this summer. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I will.
I think you should send Amy that information.
I'll send you the information. Yeah, sign them up.
I just wanted to mention too before we sign off. I'll give you all a chance in case there's anything else you want to add or questions you have for Mick. But that with the next session, we plan to do some mindful movement and breath awareness, which is really great. A great way to kind of get out from even behind the computer, use your bodies. And just another great way to incorporate this into daily life. So just wanted to put that on the radar that would be the next session. And then if anyone has some more questions, comments, questions for Mick before we go, I want to give a little time for that too.
Anything you have for kids, I have a 13, an 8, and a 7-year-old. Anything that you have, send it my way. I recently bought a book for meditation sessions for kids. It's kind of like their language, but I welcome it. Anything that you have, I would love it too, Mick. Please.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, we'll send around a resource list.
Me too, Mick. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next month.